up guys, Dan H, and today on the project we're going to clean up this whole front end and paint probably everything you can see here. It definitely rained on me before I got a chance to put down some primer on here. So I got to clean all this up, and I'm going to take apart the radiator support, clean that up, paint that too. So basically this whole front is going to get a nice little touch-up makeover, and even though you can't see it when everything's all back together, I want it to try to prevent rust by getting all the exposed metal and already rusted metal out of the equation. So it might take me a lot longer than it should to finish this, but that's the attention to detail that I'm plagued with. I don't want this thing to decay on the inside, even though it looks okay from the outside. So I'm gonna get started and finish cleaning this up. Alright, I'm going to start removing stuff so I could have better access to paint. I'm going to start by taking off this radiator support bracket in here, and then take out the radiator support. And while this is off, I'm going to paint this too, and I'm going to take care of that rot spot right there. So this is coming off. There are these two fasteners, and they're right underneath here. This big 1/2-inch driver, the little step down to 3/8 driver, works fantastic on this 15mm bolt back there. Gives you just enough clearance to avoid that frame or the unibody when you're swinging this thing, and not too much where you'll hit the tire. So it works out good. Alright, this is out, and while I'm down here, gonna take off the radiator support, and I'm gonna drop the sway bar because I got those bushings and the end links. So let's take care of that too. Cheated with a little impact driver. Alright, gonna do the same thing on the other side. Alright, this piece of yuck, it's gonna get taken care of. I'm gonna POR15 it so this rust doesn't turn into decay and rot. Alright, now that that radiator support is out of the way, just gonna go ahead and clean up this part and a little more of this, and then we'll mask it off the paint. I'm just gonna take a couple more parts off before I start painting and prepping for paint, like this insulation and these radiator support brackets that look like the golden arches. And we'll get ready to paint. Gotta be kidding me. You useless fastener. Everything else up here is 10mm. Wonder where this went. See if I can find one of those right now. It's actually 13mm. This is all Jeep parts. Jeep nuts and bolts everywhere. Alright, I found two nuts that will work on these threads. And I'm just going to line up where the dirt mark was, so I know that's where I found it. There we go. Alright, I'm going to spray everything down with a cleaner degreaser solution. And while it's drying, I'll tape everything off.
Darling, send me, I know send me, darling, send me, I know send me, darling, send me, darling,
Alright, just going to dust in some Rust-Oleum primer, and then I'll come back and do a couple more thicker coats. Alright, while all this is drying, I'm going to prep and paint this stuff with some POR15. While I'm cleaning and prepping and painting, I'm going to put all my hardware in the Tumbler to get these nice and clean, and hopefully they'll be rust-free by the time I'm ready to put them back on. I'm also going to drop the sway bar because I got the new end links and the new bushings. Alright guys, so I'm going to POR15 the rest of these pieces and put everything back on the vehicle. POR15 is fantastic because it's called paint over rust. Now you don't want to just put it on chunks of rust and scale. You want to clean it up as good as possible like I did. This is the POR15. I got about a gallon of it for $100. I also got the cleaner degreaser and metal prep in concentrate. So what you're going to want to do is mix up your cleaner degreaser, about 50-50 in a spray can. I also did about 50-50 in this spray can. And POR15 works best when the surfaces are completely clean and no grease left, and the metal is prepped and etched with this stuff. So I'm going to go through all these parts, clean them up, wash them off again, then dry them up, and then use the POR15 when it's bone dry. Going to brush it on. You can get about 15 of these for like $2 at Home Depot. You don't want to spray POR15 because whatever's in here will bond to your lungs and it could kill you. So this is all going to get painted up. I'm also going to paint some of the unibody underneath where the sway bar mounts, and once that's all cleaned, it's going to be nice and neat and all reassembled. Alright guys, I made a little POR15 paint setup. I put deck screws and my workbench so I can hang up all the parts, so when they're painted, they won't stick to anything. It's also going to rain outside. I want to keep this out of the elements. Got my little setup here, got my brush, because you don't want to spray POR15, and POR15 loves to be stirred. Do not shake it because you will get air bubbles in it and that will mess things up. So I'm going to take these things off one by one, hand brush them with POR15, hang it back up and let them dry. Oh yeah, I also changed all my clothes to black. Put on junky clothes, dark clothes, or whatever. This stuff does not come off. When I was doing the underside of Black Beauty, I got a little paint driplet of POR15 on my nose and it would not come off. I peeled off the POR15 and a chunk of skin came off with it. So be very careful. And another thing is threads. This stuff will ruin threads. So if you don't want your threads destroyed, tape them off too. You don't need too much of this stuff. It spreads itself out nice and thin. It's like self-leveling almost. And as long as you prep it correctly, it should stick and last a very, very long time. And we're doing all this work for these little parts. Why? Because we hate rust. That's right. Take that, rust.
darling.
Alright guys, I know what you're thinking. You think I'm crazy for doing all this extra work on ZJ parts that weren't even broken. But that's just something I usually do when I get involved in a project. But I'll end up taking off the parts that are around it, cleaning them up, or fixing them and putting them back into. So not only will the POR15 make this stuff look good, but it'll make it last a lot longer too. And I did see a situation where the rust could potentially get worse, so I'm going to address it now so it won't give me a problem later. That's just something I like to do, and heck, I worked on Black Beauty. Alright, she's looking good. I'm going to let all these parts cure up. I'm going to take some more of this POR15, climb under the ZJ, and go to town on the Unibody. Well, alright. That's going to do it for my paint up video. So, yeah, I'll check back with you when everything's reassembled and looking good. Thank you guys for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next project.